So my intent to come here at UFP was always to diversify my knowledge. So I'm already an urban planner, but I wanted to look the urban from very different perspectives. And what here at IIHS, studying with so many different people, has provided me with that opportunity to explore urban from various different lenses and perspectives. So the diversity is an integral part of this project, and it has allowed us to view at things from different perspectives of how a designer, a health professional, a political science student, and these bring new insights to what we already studied. And so having that diversity was very essential of, broadening our base and understanding that things are not always what you look at it directly. There are numerous layers, and as you change your discipline, you'll understand those layers. So for me earlier, I used to look at the urban in very spatial manner and very clinical manner in some sense. But as I came here, I understood that people are not just rows in Excel. They are actual people, there are stories behind them, there's politics, there's social networking, and all those things. And I don't think so I was aware of all these things, even being an urban planner. And so the score structure itself, through its like the social identity and practice, was like mind blown thing for me. The faculty here, it's a lot more interactive, and there's not that much hierarchy between us. So we can always go to them, approach them, and even talk like a friend with them quite often, argue with them. It's not like whatever they are saying is the final thing. We can debate, we can talk, and they are as well as receptive and respectable towards us as we are towards them. So that's like a very important part. And they are as well very flexible. They listen to our views and they know that we come from different backgrounds. And so they will give us time as well, and giving us the respect of our discipline. The UFP has been a very wholesome experience, and it has been a very comprehensive experience. Like they're both the same, but in some sense, wholesome is very more personal because of the people that I got to know, and as well the things that I got to know, which made it more comprehensive. I think those are the two words I'd go with. There was the ethnographic skill lab and the media lab. So I got the skills of interviewing, of not just asking people for information, but asking people about themselves. And that was one very key thing that I understood, especially from the ethnographic lab. And the media lab allowed me to, work with cameras, make a documentary, and those sort of things. Like, I never thought I'd be able to do that, but I did it. So the ethnographic skill lab really helped me in understanding and structuring interviews and how they happen. But at the same time, the documentation of that interview and presenting that in a very powerful manner, and that is where the media lab came in, and it allowed me, the framing of the interviewer, the lighting, and all those things, just those nuances of all those things. I think these two skills really came together extremely well for me. And then we made a documentary for media lab, which was basically the summation of both of these. So the course structure, basically the commons term, the electives term, and the internship, basically they are structured in a very, there was a lot of thought process put behind it. We can understand that, especially because the commons gives us a common ground for all of us to understand these. But at the same time, later on when we come into electives, we can go for our specializations or something that you want to explore. And that was really good for me because I came here to explore. So I never thought I would be studying gender in the city, but here I am. So the field-based component has been a constant throughout the UFP journey for me. And that was really new for me because even though I had done field-based work, they were already in like a span of 10 days together. This continuous sort of process really opened my eyes to understanding the dynamics that of transformation, of evolution, of how your relationship with the site changes over time. And that was a very eye-opening thing for me. So life at IIHS is awesome. It's so welcoming. It's so friendly. Here you will feel like you're in a bubble, surrounded by all these protective layers from IIHS, from the faculties, from the people that people that love you and people you will start loving. And a big part of it as well is living together with our UFP cohort. The events and the master classes and all these extra things that happen, they are like a must to attend almost every time, because the things that you'll get to know, the different perspectives and the people that you'll meet, oh my god, they are like, of course you'll be into academics, but then what are other people thinking, what is going on out there in the academic world, in the film world and all those things. And there are talks and you can interact with them personally, you can ask questions, and that really enriches you and as well gets you used to that sort of environment. And so these are like one of the things that was really exciting and always, adding spice to our life in some sense. Office hours are really important when your head is a mess, which I'm sure a lot of us were a mess for a long time. But then office hours are those time where you go to a faculty, not as a student, but as just a person who has come for advice from someone who is more experienced, someone who is more grown up, or someone who has gone through the same thing. And they just give you advice. They listen to you, they advise you, and it just feels nice at the end of the day that at the end of the day, yeah, okay, something has been figured out, we can move forward, we can go on. So I loved my practica, the practica group that we were in, especially because I was able to closely work with different disciplines, from design, from health, there was political science, journalist, and all those people that brought in things, and we were just brainstorming, working day and night, working on whiteboards. Those nights and that time I'll always remember, and those were like the favorite moment for me. Especially the end project that we did and the presentation, it was bang on.